The most unexpected things can take you on a trip down memory lane. I'm your host, Natasha Kay, and you're listening to Micromusings. In this podcast, we delve into the world of writing, exploring original works and uncovering the inspirations and stories behind the pieces. Our goal is to create a space where writing can inspire, comfort, and connect us all. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Now let's dive in. Hey y'all! This piece holds a special place in my heart because I remember writing this my sophomore year of college for my memoir class. I love that class so much because it taught me a lot about how I remember my past experiences and choose to discuss them, which led me to starting this podcast, kind of. I write about my life experiences as if they didn't happen to me, like I'm talking about a dream I had or something I saw in a show. I'm very disconnected from past versions of myself, which then allows me to get on here and air out my life story without really being attached to anything I'm saying. Sure, maybe at one point I resonated with those feelings, but I'm constantly growing and evolving, so it feels foreign to me by the time it gets here. Anyways, back to the piece. The prompt was something about food that brings up bittersweet memories, and I had no idea what to write about. When I finally came up with the idea, I sat down and wrote it in one session. Come to find out, I turned this piece in a whole 3 days late, but I still got 100. It's inspired by a close friendship I once had. I no longer resonate with these feelings. I haven't in a long time, but this piece has been sitting in the vault collecting dust, so I thought I'd give it to y'all. I feel like this piece follows my regular theme of being regretful of how things ended, but grateful for the lessons learned from said experience. And if you by any chance are listening to this, good luck in your life, wishing you the best. Here's Reese's and chocolate ice cream. Bittersweet memories arise from the food I love the most, desserts. Chocolate ice cream with Reese's remind me of her every time. Every summer of high school, she would spend a week at my house. Our daily activities would include binge watching, Netflix, gossiping, and trampoline time. Trampoline time meant that we would clean it off for 10 minutes to jump for all of 5 minutes. Then we would sneak out the fence to go on a walk to the closest store, Wawa. The walk to Wawa was full of laughter, defeating the purpose of trying to be sneaky. I would grab a pint of Haagen-Dazs and a couple of Reese's. She would complain about the lack of a Pharrell machine at this specific location and settle for a pint of Ben & Jerry's. We would pay and happily walk back under the beating sun. Then we would sit on the trampoline and talk and eat our ice cream. The world wasn't real, just the two of us and my confused feelings for the first year. Confused because I was still figuring myself out, and yet she seemed to have it down pat. The second year, I had no longer found her intriguing in any way, and by the third year, things no longer felt real to me. Unbeknownst to me, our friendship was rotting away like the plastic of the trampoline. With every December, the summertime resurfaces. I get reminiscent of how close we were and how quickly it all faded away. Like the bugs on the trampoline, she refused to leave my mind. Who would have known that 14 years of friendship would mean nothing compared to something I didn't even say? She gave me many reasons to walk away, and instead I stuck by her. One silly little moment of vulnerability and honesty, and she leaves me in the dust? At this time, I was applying to colleges. My mind raced with thoughts of how we were supposed to go to the same school, and now we don't even wish each other happy birthday. The worst part was not the fact that she abandoned me when I really needed her, but the lying. Lying to my face for a full year while I was under the impression that everything was cool is unforgivable. My mother was always right about her. By the end of my first semester of college, I was officially a published poet. I wish I could have celebrated that with her, done it with her, but instead I could only sit in bed and eat chocolate ice cream and Reese's. We could have taken the first steps to our goals together, but I guess I have her to thank for giving me heartbreak to endure, to cry, to remember that led me to writing. Like the leaves that we would clean up, there will always be remnants of you. Thank you for listening to Micromusings. I'm so glad you could join me today. If you'd like to read more of my writing, visit my website by clicking the link in the show notes below or go to bynatashak.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to share it with others who might appreciate it. And if you enjoy the podcast overall, I'd be grateful if you could leave a 5-star rating. Don't forget to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast so you never miss an episode, and to the Substack for additional exclusive content. Your support means the world to me. With love always. Until next time, I'm Natasha.